Chapter 8 Sisters. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Lucy Burgoyne. Sisters by Ada Cambridge. Chapter 8. Carey Junior joined the Christmas party after breakfast, and was handed round. Mary introduced him. He was spick and span, with shining cheeks and a damp and glossy topknot, and his blue eyes stared at the strange crowd stolidly for several minutes, before he suddenly crumpled up his face and uttered a howl of terror. "What is it?" queried Dalzell, with raised brows, pretending that he had never seen such a thing before. "It's a baby," Frances explained, dancing round it. "Baby, baby," shaking the new rattle that was one of its Christmas gifts. "Look at me, baby." "It is Mr Carey's baby. Oh, come and speak to him, Mr Carey. He is frightened of so many strangers." The stalwart father in the background glowered upon the son disgracing him, red as a beetroot. Embarrassed and annoyed, he strode forward. The yelling infant cast one glance at him, and yelled louder than before. "I shouldn't have let him come," the sailor growled. He had got up from the wrong side of the bed that morning, and was in the mood to regret everything, even that he had been born. "I don't know what possessed me to let you be bothered with the brat. I'll ring for his nurse." This was unanimously objected to. The ladies gathered round, with honeyed words and tinkling baubles to pacify the little guest. Deborah snatched him from her sister's arms, and ran with him into the garden, where she tossed him, still writhing and wailing, up and down, and dipped his face into flowers, and played other pranks calculated to enchant the average baby. This baby turned on her for her pains, and having slapped her cheeks, grabbed her beautiful hair and tore it down about her ears. The next instant he felt the weight of the hand from which his own had derived its strength. "You brute!" cried Deb, shielding the offending little arm from a second blow. "A great man like you to strike a tender mite like this!" "Tender is hardly the word," the irate parent sneered. "And mite as he is not to do things of that sort." Guthrie glared at her sacred locks, dishevelled. "I'm awfully sorry. He shan't do it again. I'll take him away tomorrow." "You will do nothing of the sort," flashed Deb. "You are not fit to have the care of him. He shall stay here, where he will be treated as a baby ought to be, not smacked and knocked about for nothing at all." "I admire his pluck," quoth Dalzell, sauntering up. "So do I," said Deb, but she handed her sobbing burden to Mary. "Here, take him, Moll, while I put my hair up. Poor little fellow!" She need not have been so severe. She might have known that it was because the cheeks and hair were hers that the baby had been punished for his assault on them. She could have seen that she was wringing the culprit's heart. Perhaps she did, and had no room in her own to care. She stood on the sunny garden path and lifted her hands to her head, a lovely pose. "Here, let me," said Claud Dalzell. She let him, which was cruellest of all. Guthrie turned his murderous eyes from the group and sauntered away, out of the garden, out of their sight, unrecalled, apparently unnoticed. Mary carried the crying child into the house. Then for an hour the silly fellow walked alone in the most solitary places that he could find, revelling in the thought that it was Christmas Day, and he singled out by fate to have no share in its happy circumstances, no home, no friends, no love like other men, nothing to make life worth living, save only the baby son that he had ill used. Apart from the sting of Deb's comment on it, He repented him that blow. A great big man like him, to strike a tender mite like this, a motherless babe, his precious Lily's bequest to him. Ay, indeed. It was the act of a brute, whatever the provocation. The mite was a waif too, alone in the world when his father was at sea, pathetically helpless, with no defence against blows and unkindness. The reflection brought dimness to the man's hard blue eyes, and turned his steps houseward. He arrived to find a large four-horse brake at the door. The body was filling with other persons, the sailor knew not, cared not whom. He looked up at the radiant figure in front. She looked down on him with heart-melting kindness, as if nothing had happened. "Why, Mr Carey, aren't you coming to church?" she called to him. Not today, I think," he answered, without premeditation. "Christmas Day," she hinted, invitingly. "You don't always get the chance, you know." "I know, but thanks, I'd rather not," he bluntly persisted, hating himself for the churlish response, and all the time wanting to go, certain to have gone if he had given himself time to think. Soldiers and sailors, with their habit of unquestioning obedience to authority, are almost always good churchmen, and, as she had pointed out, this offer of Christian privileges did not come to him every year. He had not anticipated it on this occasion, knowing Redford to be situated at least 10 miles from a church. "Oh well," said Deborah, scenting spite, "I daresay it is more comfortable in the cool house." And then she left him, in the position of a self-indulgent idler, preferring comfort to duty, a foil to his more conscientious rival. When the dust of the departure had cleared away, he sat on, not in the cool house, but on the hot verandah, nursing his griefs in solitude. He seemed the only person left behind, or else he seemed forgotten, as a guest of no account. "What a Christmas Day!" was again his thought, while he dragged before his mind's eye old pictures of his English home, his dead mother, Santa Claus stockings, and all sorts of pathetic things. He resolved to quit Redford on the morrow, and spend the last hours of his leave in establishing his son elsewhere. Then Mary Pennycuick came out to him, with that son in her arms. Her face was redeemed from its plainness by the tender motherliness and the no less tender friendliness of its expression. That of little Harry was cherubic. The heart of the lonely man warmed to both. "He has come to tell Daddy that he is a good boy now," explained Mary proudly. Guthrie ejaculated, "Sonny boy," and held out his arms. The baby, bearing no malice, tumbled into them, and was at once occupied with his father's watch chain. The three subsided upon 2 cane chairs, looking, as Mary keenly comprehended, like a self-contained family. "You have stayed at home because of him," the man complained fretfully. But the girl hastened to perjure herself with the assertion that she had done nothing of the kind. She then persuaded him to the half belief that his child was not only no nuisance to the house, but its positive delight, and she earnestly talked him out of his cruel resolve to return it to bad air and all sorts of domestic risks. "How can he be any burden on us?" she pleaded. "We need never see him unless we like. Only, of course, we shall like. It is entirely an arrangement between you and Mrs Kelsey. Unless," she bethought herself, "unless you'd like to consider an idea of Alice Urquhart's." "Oh no," he broke in. "I'd rather Mrs Kelsey. A proper business agreement, if I could feel absolutely